Today's Spotlight is brought to you in part by presenting sponsor, Busey Bank. Busey, your dream, our promise. Welcome to Spotlight. I'm your host, Jane Renette. Today we're going to be talking with three local nonprofit organizations: Turning Point Autism Foundation, Dive Heart, and Illinois Miss Amazing. If you're just tuning in, you're watching Spotlight. I'm your host, Jane Renette, and joining me now are Tina Marie Hernandez and Jim Elliott from Dive Heart. So welcome.
Thank you. We're so glad to be here.
Oh, we're happy to have you back. Tina Marie, good to see you again. And Jim, so nice to meet you.
Thank you.
We're going to start right off with you, Tina Marie. What is Dive Heart?
So Dive Heart is a 501c3 nonprofit. We're out of Downers Grove, and we provide pool programs of scuba diving for people with disabilities. We like to call it people of all abilities because we believe that even our volunteers get something out of it when they come and do our programs. We do pool programs all over from Milwaukee all the way down to Lockport, and new ones are popping up all the time.
That's wonderful. So, I mean, it's centered, but you're moving it out. You're trying to do a lot of different places.
Right, and we invite everyone who wants to come. Our pool programs are free. We also do things like education and outreach. So not enough people know that this is a possibility for them. So we go and we do presentations for service organizations or Girl Scout troops or school programs that might be at a high school. We also do research, and we also host trips for people with disabilities who want to take their scuba diving to the next level, so to speak.
That's exciting, because I think you're right. I think a lot of people wouldn't naturally think if they had physical challenges that perhaps scuba diving was an option for them.
Correct, and we work with physical and cognitive disabilities.
Okay,
so,
okay, thanks for that clarification.
Yes, so there's a lot of spectrum type disorders that we might come and make friends with. So.
Nice, that's great. Well, Jim, that kind of leads into my question to you. Talk a little bit about some of the benefits that you see when people come and they participate in scuba diving.
Well, this really isn't, and this is kind of interesting. I don't think this is about scuba diving.
Okay.
I think this is about taking the unrealized human potential that exists in people with disabilities and creating a paradigm shift. So now it's not Johnny in a wheelchair, it's Johnny the scuba diver. He's no longer defined by that disability. And then what we try to do is we try to focus them on coral reef restoration, marine biology, oceanography, and make them good stewards of the environment. So when I founded Dive Heart, it was to build confidence, independence, and self-esteem in people with disabilities. So it really, we just happen to use zero gravity and scuba therapy to do it.
Okay, that's interesting. I like the way you talk about that, because I think oftentimes we do feel like we're defined by limitations that perhaps others have put on us. And you're really saying, no, anybody can do this, and this is a great opportunity for some independence.
Yeah, you can imagine if you spent your whole life in a wheelchair, you've probably been told your whole life you can't do things. You know, well, you can't play basketball, you can't play football, you're in a wheelchair, or you have autism or something like that. If you have a traumatic injury, now you might have been a champion athlete, and now all of a sudden you can't do things. So this traumatic loss is in your life, and that creates depression and things like that. So what we try to do is, you know, transition people into a zero gravity environment and give them freedom. If you have mobility issues, range of motion is increased. We've done research, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but I know that autism, for example, is amazing, the benefits we get right away. In fact, here in Naperville, at one of the high schools, we do things at Matea, Wabansie, and Nequa, and we had a young man at Wabansie that was nonverbal, and he was a little unruly, and his teacher said basically, you know, Johnny, if you want to do this with Dive Heart, you better calm down. Well, I saw he was unruly. I said, don't put fins on him because he might take off on us. so basically, we put the kit on him and we put the mask on him, and sometimes that's a challenge. But he sat right down in 4 feet of water, and we're like, okay. And we sat down with him, and we're playing rockets and making puzzles and stuff like that. And then we started showing him some skills, and he stood up at the end of 20 minutes after he had drained the tank, and he turned to his teacher, and this kid who we thought was nonverbal turned and said, you know, I really enjoyed that. I think I'd like to try it again. And we just went, what? But pressure is a therapy for people with autism. So they have pressure vests and weighted blankets, sensory deprivation rooms. And what going underwater does is it eliminates surface distractions and allow the pressure, ambient pressure helps them focus. And it's amazing, even just the first pool session, some of the benefits that we see.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned the research, so I'm just going to kind of dive into that because you have scuba therapy, and it really is viewed as therapy, right? And you're doing a lot of research with that. So say a little bit more about that, Jim.
Well, Midwestern University, right in Downers Grove, has done several studies with us. In fact, Tina Marie did a questionnaire in Cozumel. We had 40-some-odd people, 9 with disabilities, 5 in wheelchairs. And it's quality of life stuff. A lot of it's soft research, but also doctors from Hopkins and Kennedy Krieger went with one of the teams we trained and found that there's an extra output of serotonin if you go to 66 feet underwater, and that helps with pain management. And in fact, the veterans with PTSD had 80% of their PTSD symptoms were alleviated during the week that they did this pilot study. So what we're hoping to do is replicate that with a facility.
Yeah, we're constantly trying to encourage doctors, researchers to do more research in this area where scuba diving is involved. We did they did the research with veterans, but there was another doctoral student who did a 3-year study with us, and it was for people with PTSD and traumatic brain injuries. And she was the one who pointed out to us that the very first pool session seems to be so impactful. And if you've ever experienced it, or people who might have experienced it, they say that over and over again, whether they have a disability or not, because it's so unnatural for you to find yourself breathing underwater, right? So your mind kind of goes, wow. But what it does for people with disabilities is it gives them an extra boost because they're doing something that so many people are afraid to do. Yeah. So many people feel that they've told themselves they can't do. Frankly, the people with disabilities that I've ever worked with are the best students ever, because once they decide to do something, they are going to get it done.
All in. Yeah,
right. So it's wonderful.
Now, how do people get engaged with you, Tina Marie? How would they get engaged either as a participant or a volunteer?
They can reach out to us through our website. We have a volunteer forum, a short forum just to get people started, and then we contact back with them. We have connection on our website where it says programs, and people can follow the calendar links and sign up for a program, which are, again, they're free of charge for people with disabilities if they come to one of our pool programs. If they then find that they want to do more things, they can. Some of those may include a cost, but we are always willing to help them with cost and help them fundraise if we need to fundraise.
Funding, that's always an issue for every not-for-profit. How are you funded?
We are funded 99% through people giving us individual donations. We do have some grants that are given to us throughout the year, and some very special angels who come up with larger amounts of money, but for the most part it's people sending us $50, $100, $1,000. We have service organizations who help us in the area, and that's because they believe in what we're doing in their community. And it is very much about community. Wherever we have a team, wherever we have a program going, it's for those people, both the volunteers in that community as well as the people who are diving with us.
Okay, that's wonderful. Well, I thank you so much for coming by. I mean, you're doing amazing work, and I can only, and I know I've spoken to one of your participants before about that feeling, and like you talked about that very first dive and how freeing that experience was, and as you talked about, Jim, that self-esteem and that belief. So I wish you all the best. I know you have some other exciting news that will be coming sooner than later that you're trying to work, right? Jim, am I right? You're working on a campaign to finish maybe for a facility for your own?
We want to replicate in a confined warm water environment what we've found in open water, which is really uncontrollable, right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah. And these days more so than ever.
And if people go to the website and click on media, there's probably 200 news stories and videos that tell a million different stories about autism and Down syndrome and everything that we do.
Terrific. Well, thank you again so much. We appreciate it. And if you would like to learn more about the services that Dive Hard offers to people with disabilities, please go and visit their website. We're going to take a quick break, but don't go away. We're coming right back with more Spotlight.
At Busey, our story centers around you, your goals, and your dreams. You dreamed of owning your first home. You partnered with us to customize a plan. You started a business. You trusted us to guide you through the ups and downs. You wanted to leave a legacy. You allowed us to bring your dreams to life. Thank you for partnering with us to make tomorrow's dreams today's reality. Busey, your dream, our promise.
BlackRock has grown quickly since its founding less than 10 years ago. At BlackRock, you cook your steak on a sizzling 755-degree volcanic rock to your exact liking. You can also enjoy all kinds of seafood on the volcanic rock, so each piece is seared to perfection and piping hot as you eat it. At BlackRock Bar and Grill, it's more than just a meal. It's an experience.
You're watching Spotlight, and today I'm joined by Carrie and Russ, representing Turning Point Autism Foundation. So welcome.
Thanks for having us, Jane.
Oh, we're always glad to hear your story because it's a wonderful one. And I'll start right off with you, Carrie. This was really Turning Point Autism Foundation, a passion project of a Naperville family. So give us that little bit of background and tell us about how it came to be.
It was a local Naperville family, Kim and Randy Wolf. Their son Jack was impacted with autism. And what's wonderful about their story is that after they were able to create a program with some specialists that helped Jack emerge from a very dark place into a place of lightness and ability to learn and grow and connect to his family and his sister, the Wolf family decided, what are other families doing? And instead of just, hugging Jack and being grateful, they decided to start Turning Point Autism Foundation, which I know has been a really big journey for all of them. And along the way, they've been able to help over 100 families impacted by autism through our foundation here in Naperville. So
that's
really
wonderful.
Pretty remarkable.
Yeah, it really is. And you've grown significantly over the time period that it's been going, which is wonderful. Russ, I'm going to ask you a little bit, because first of all, I'm going to congratulate you, because I know you have a graduate from the program, from the career program.
I do.
Talk a little bit about that, how you got to Turning Point Autism Foundation and the journey through that graduation.
Sure. So our journey to find Turning Point, after our daughter, Marina, graduated from high school, we had difficulty trying to assimilate her into the normal societies, finding a job. But it also has this career college, which is what we put our daughter through. And in the career college, they teach them things like life skills and how to become more social, and they actually teach them how to do a vocation. We partner with Walgreens. So it was a wonderful place for us. We searched far and wide to try to find an organization that would help her. And there's not many out there that take care of these kids as they approach adulthood. And so it's definitely been a blessing for us. And our daughter, who actually she works now with the group, she wakes up every day happy. She's got purpose. Prior to Turning Point, she was working at some local retail establishments. It just didn't work for her. They didn't understand her. And so it's just been nothing but a terrific ride for us with Turning Point.
That's wonderful. And I think you really hit on something, right, which is we tend to societally focus on young children and through that high school experience, and then we don't really think too much about what happens after that. And I think so the fact that you're doing that work at Turning Point Autism Foundation is amazing, and obviously to some wonderful results with that. Yeah,
you look around Chicagoland area, there's not many that focus on this adult area, so it's very important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good work.
Absolutely. Carrie, now what does your staff say? I mean, what do they find to be the most joyous part of their day?
Well, obviously the students, because whether you're in the day school or the career college, we just adore them. And we love being a part of their life and getting to know the families that we're blessed to work with as well. But I think what our staff at Turning Point really enjoys the most about our work is that we are a best practice organization with all of the interventions we're using to teach our students, whether they're in the day school or the career college. And because of that, the progress is amazing. And when you get to be a part of that day in, day out with these students as they're growing and finding their own confidence and their own purpose, like Russ says, I mean, it's just joyful to be there. And I think that's why our staff stay and why they're so committed to the work, even on some really rough days.
Yeah.
They really stay committed.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And I think, and Russ, correct me if I'm wrong, but you've not only had a child go through the program, but you're on the board now, right? So you've obviously felt this passion yourself to this. What's next for Turning Point in your mind?
Absolutely have a passion, and especially for that one targeted area. Turning Point's a wonderful organization. I don't get to see some of the transformation that Carrie does. I wish I could see a little bit more. But I wanted to give back to the group because, not just for my daughter, but for this whole community. It's just a very needed and can be very impactful for all the many families that we serve. Turning Point's getting bigger. We recently purchased our own building. We are expanding space, making room for more students. And so we are in the throes of creating something really great that's going to last for a long time.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Carrie, so talk a little bit, if you would. Give us another example of a student's story and why, and I think that will speak to why that expansion of space and that new facility, all of that kind of stuff is so important.
Yeah, so Marina is a great success story from our career college. Our day school has a ton of them as well. Students who in our building, when they arrive with us in junior high or high school, learning their first words in our building is pretty remarkable. Some of our students arrive nonverbal, not meeting some of their goals in their prior placement for months, if not years. And we have a student who joined us last summer and in 6 weeks moved out of all of his prior goals in 6 weeks at Turning Point because we were able to wrap him around with all of the core services he needed. And that means he's communicating, he's not engaging in maladaptive behaviors anymore or much less, because he's able to communicate his needs and his wants and connect to his staff and his family. And so he's one that really stands out, but many of our students are learning to read for the first time and all of those big milestones right in our building, which is exciting.
Yeah.
So Marina started out as the receptionist at Turning Point, and now she's kind of transforming into, we have a cafe at one of the Woods family dealerships, car dealerships, and she's making coffee and smoothies, and I think Carrie identified her because my daughter's very vivacious, and hopefully she's gonna be good to raise the sales there. So we encourage everyone to come out and have a coffee.
Yes, and browse the cars while you're there.
Yeah, well,
right.
that's the other side too. Yeah.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And I think you sort of focus very much, Carrie, what I hear you saying is a lot about that communication skills, and that requires a lot, I think, from your staff, probably, right, in that whole listening and really being patient and working that through.
Yeah, and applying all of our best practice interventions to make sure that we're taking the right steps to unlock their potential, because it's really limitless. Yeah.
Now, how can people get involved?
Well, they can go to Lexus of Naperville, the Made to Inspire Cafe, and get a coffee or smoothie. They can, certainly, we are also launching some new enterprises to create sustainable funding for the organization, like a dog biscuit company that was founded by a young man on the autism spectrum.
Oh, lovely.
And some other enterprises that people can find on our website to get involved.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your story, Russ. Really appreciate that. And Carrie, as always, to you and your staff, thank you for the work that you're doing on behalf of those that really need it. And it's lovely to have it right here in Naperville, so thank you. If you would like to learn more about Turning Point Autism Foundation and the services they offer to folks with autism, please go and visit their website. We're going to take a quick break, but stay with us. We'll be right back with more Spotlight.
Shop downtown Naperville this holiday season with over 100 shops, from national favorites to one-of-a-kind boutiques, plus over 50 restaurants. And health and beauty options too. You'll find something for everyone on your shopping list. Don't forget about downtown Naperville gift cards. They make a perfect gift for use everywhere in downtown Naperville. Come shop, dine, and be merry in downtown Naperville.
At Busey, our story centers around you, your goals, and your dreams. You dreamed of owning your first home. You partnered with us to customize a plan. You started a business. You trusted us to guide you through the ups and downs. You wanted to leave a legacy. You allowed us to bring your dreams to life. Thank you for partnering with us to make tomorrow's dreams today's reality. Busey, your dream, our promise.
Since 2001, families and friends have been caught reading Positively Naperville. At home, around town, and all over the world. Thanks for reading, in print and online.
Welcome back to Spotlight. I'm your host, Jane Burnett. I'm joined now by Corey Kozort and Carly Doonan to talk about Illinois Miss Amazing. So welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, we're super glad to have you both here, and I'm loving your crown, and I can't wait to come chat a little bit more with you. I'm going to start with you, though, Corey. What is Illinois Miss Amazing?
Yes, it's a program for girls and women with disability, basically 5 on up. And it's a program to help them develop the skills. It's kind of fashioned after a pageant style, where they get to use those skills in order to build self-confidence and other skills that you develop as you go through the pageant style event.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, Carly, tell me a little bit about how and when you got involved with Illinois Miss Amazing.
One of my friends that I hang out with told me about it and the information about it, and then I did it.
Okay. And tell me a little bit about that experience. What was it like?
It was amazing because I won.
That's always a good experience.
And I also got to show like that young adults and that have special needs can do anything they put their mind to.
Absolutely. So it was a good experience.
Yes, it was.
Okay. Corey, tell us a little bit about some of the programs and kind of how it works.
Yes, so our event is April 5th and 6th. At the Yellow Box in Naperville, and so like I said, it's kind of fashioned after a pageant style, so the girls can participate in the talent show, and then they can also do the interviews, and then at the end they get to dress up and put on makeup and get their hair done, and they all get presented on stage, and then also have the opportunity to introduce themselves while on stage, and then everybody who participates is actually crowned a princess, and then we have 6 queens for the active age groups that participate and can become queens like Carly did.
Okay, so Carly, you won last year, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, and in what age category did you win?
Was it Junior Miss?
Junior Miss, yeah.
Junior Miss, I like that. Junior Miss, Illinois Miss Amazing, that's awesome.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about how this whole experience, Carly, has impacted your life.
It impacted my life that showed that I can do anything I put my mind to, and that I'm always positive, and that young adults with special needs can do anything they put their mind up to.
I love that. I love that. Did you enjoy being up on the stage?
Yes, I did. I did a dance and.
Did you? What kind of dance did you do?
I did a Justin Timberlake song.
Nice, very nice. Well, he's got pretty good music.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I know that Danielle Tafano was the host, right? Was the MC of that last year.
Correct, she was, and she actually has been as long as I've been involved, and she's told me she will do it again this year too.
That's wonderful. So now I think if I'm right, you're going to do Yellow Box, and then it kind of goes out from there, right? This is, you have a local a program, and then it expands. Is that right?
So we do have Illinois Miss Amazing, and then there's actually a National Miss Amazing organization that has 30 states participating at this point. It was started by a young woman at the age of 13, actually, and she's expanded the program into now so many states and so many different programs.
That's quite amazing.
Yes.
I mean, amazing. I feel like we love that word, but it really is amazing that. And so, would girls and young women who participate in your program, would they have? Is there like a national program? So would they have an opportunity to go on and maybe travel a little?
Yes. So the queens actually go to national. So Carly went to nationals, and this year it was in Chicago, outside of Chicago in Rosemont. event.
Okay.
So queens do get to participate in nationals, which bring in the girls and women from all different states.
Carly, how was that experience?
That was amazing. I made a lot of friends, and I miss them, but I still text them and talk to them sometimes.
Oh, well, that's nice. So from all over the country, you made friends. That's great. Great. Well, and Rosemont's got a wonderful convention center to do that in, too. So, and where will the national competition be this year?
It hasn't been announced at this
time.
So.
Secret. You'll have to let us know that later. Okay.
So, the last few years it has been, we've been lucky it's been in Chicago, so.
Yeah, which is so nice, right? That's so nice. Now, tell us a little bit, Corey, about how people can either get involved, like Carly, how can people get involved as a participant? And then do you have any other volunteer opportunities?
Yes, so participants just need to be women and children, girls, 5 and older, in order to participate with a recognized disability. And they can go to our website in order to apply to participate in the program. And they don't have to become queens, but they can, everyone will be a princess. So it's just kind of how they want to participate and how they want to make that day about themselves and just building self-confidence in those skills. Okay. As far as volunteering, we do have volunteer opportunities just to help out the day of the event and, you know, sell tickets, sell raffle tickets. We have merchandise too, as you can see.
Yeah, I like it. Can I buy a sash?
Yeah, you could buy a t-shirt if you want.
Yeah, okay, good. I'd like that.
And
I like the purple.
And you can advertise it.
I could.
I had the same one.
Do you?
Yep.
Yeah.
We're also always looking for buddies too, and that's a girl or woman who wants to match up one-on-one with one of the participants. Okay. And kind of help them through the day and be their friend throughout the day as they go through the different activities that they do, such as the interviews, getting their hair and makeup done, helping them, you know, on stage, like as they go to be on stage. Sure. And then for men, we have an opportunity, in particular for men and boys with disabilities, to be right-hand men, and they actually take our participants on the stage, so they have someone escort them. Nice. And they can apply to do that too. Okay. And did you like your escort, Carly?
Yeah.
Nice?
He was nice, and he was cute too.
Oh, that's such a benefit, right? That's great. Well, listen, first, congratulations to you on a wonderful year of reigning as Queen Illinois Miss Amazing. That's awesome. And Corey, thank you for all the good work you're doing on behalf of this program. I know it means the world to lots and lots of people, so we wish you all the best with this year's competition.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. If you would like to find out more about Illinois Miss Amazing, please go and visit their website. We're going to take a quick break, but stay tuned. We're coming right back with more Spotlight. I'd like to thank all of my guests for joining us on Spotlight, and our friends at Busey Bank for their generous sponsorship of today's show. If you would like to learn more about any of the organizations featured on today's show, please go and visit our website at NCTV17.com. And to stay informed about what's happening in your community, sign up to receive Naperville Now, or like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. For Spotlight, I'm Jane Wernette. Thank you for watching.
This episode of Business Connection is brought to you in part by presenting sponsor Esser Hayes Insurance Group, serving the Naperville community by putting an expert in your corner since 1941.
I'm Liz Spencer, and welcome to Business Connection, introducing you to the names and faces of Naperville area entrepreneurs and business owners. Today we'll go on location to Great Western Flooring. We'll meet mortgage advisor Pamela Herron-Basic, but stay tuned for Chicago engineers, all here on Business Connection. Welcome to Business Connection. I'm Liz Spencer. We have a fascinating guest in studio today. It's Jennifer Keither, and she's the principal of Chicago Engineers. Welcome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Tell me a little bit about your company and the background.
So Chicago Engineers is a branch of New York Engineers, and we have been around since 2012. The company started out with just one person and has grown to nearly 50 employees presently.
Wow.
We are on Inc. 5000's fastest growing company list, so it has been a great success story.
It is a great success story. So tell me a little bit about what you do. You do MEP engineering, but what is that MEP?
Right, so MEP stands for Mechanical, Electrical, Plumbing. And we design plans for these systems to make buildings occupiable. So mechanical is choosing the correct system for the building, whether that's a cooling tower or a split system, VRF system. A lot of factors go into determining this, whether it's space and cost or combination of both of those things, how much space we have to run piping. So we'll identify the system that's appropriate for the building. We'll show ductwork, piping, incoming gas service. So that's mechanical. Electrical is powering that equipment, and plumbing and fire protection equipment, your lights, your receptacles, structured cabling for AV, security, and telecom systems, design of fire alarm systems. And plumbing is design of your domestic water and sanitary systems, bringing water to any appliances that require it, water fountains, things like that, ice coolers, refrigerators. And then we also offer an array of other services. These are all on our website, but we also write detailed reports for building owners. Sometimes there's several problems that they might be having with their building, so we can come in and identify those problems and offer several solutions and costs associated with those solutions.
So you can be on the start of a new building coming up, or you can come in and help a building that's already designed it up but might be having a little bit of trouble.
Exactly, yes. We work on new buildings from the ground up and existing buildings, yes.
And how important, I think many of us take for granted that infrastructure, because it's not something that we always see. We only see it when it goes bad.
Right, exactly, yes. I mean, and you kind of want to not think about those systems. So if there's a problem, we can definitely come in and help identify what that is and offer solutions.
That's fascinating. So tell me some of the projects that you've worked on.
So we have a wide portfolio of projects. You can find more information on these on our website, but we do anything from hotels to retail, office, residential. We also do different types of buildings, high-rise buildings, single-story houses. We design to LEED requirements, which is energy requirements. So yes, we have a huge variety of projects we work on.
So tell me a little bit about if somebody was interested in talking to you, but whether they were in a pre-existing building like we are here now, or whether they're going to build something, what's our first step? How do we get going with you, and what should be our first step in thinking about engineering?
So you can contact us, and we are ultra responsive to our potential clients and our existing clients. You would contact us, we would write a proposal for you after we understood what the exact issues were or what kind of building you were looking to design. We often do this within 24 hours of being contacted. So yeah, we're very responsive.
Well, and sometimes I think we don't even know what we need, or we think that the lowest price point is, you know, because we all are on a budget. But how do you guide your clients a little bit on what to choose or what systems might work best?
So we listen to our clients. We identify. It's a matter of programming these items with them. So we listen to their wants and what they think they need, and then we make suggestions. And as far as like getting pricing, so we have a great tool on our website. It's a pricing calculator where before they even contact us, potential clients can go in there and plug in their square footage of their building and their building type and get a ballpark price of how much it would cost to get design drawings from us.
Wow, that's a great service.
Yes, yeah.
Because it helps, because oftentimes we go in this with not having a good idea of that budget.
Exactly, and there can be some sticker shock, yep.
Yes, yes. Again, it kind of go to the example of, you know, when you get a new roof on your house, then suddenly you want everybody in the world to see that new roof.
Yes.
Because you're like, well, look what I just put in there. Much like with the building, either you're putting up or if you're putting in a new heating and cooling unit in your pre-existing building.
Exactly. Yes.
Tell me a little bit. There are lots of engineering firms out there. What sets you apart?
So a lot of things set Chicago engineers apart from our competition. One of the things I mentioned, being very responsive. We're always very on top of things with our projects that are going on and contacting potential clients. Another thing that sets us apart is our workplace culture. We are a very process-driven firm. One of our mottos is we're always trying to beat yesterday. We empower our staff. Another thing, we incorporate cost saving and energy saving measures into our design early on in the project. A lot of times these are thought of at a later point. It's called value engineering. The contractor gets our plans, they identify things that they can do to save costs. Our goal is to do this at the beginning of the design, so when the contractor gets it, they can't possibly find anywhere to cut corners. So yeah, that's our goal when we're designing.
That's awesome, because I think we're all thinking about, you know, energy saving, and we want to be responsible to, you know, not only our own budget, but to the environment going forward.
Exactly, yes.
So tell me a little bit about your background.
So I am an engineer also. I have about 20 years experience in this industry. I love the puzzle solving aspect of engineering. I love to be challenged. So those are some of the reasons why I got into this industry. And I got into Chicago Engineers, this company. I believe it's a great company. I very much enjoyed working here so far.
That's awesome. Well, I think it's nice to have someone with an engineering background and then loving the problem solve. You know, you're very approachable. So if I come in with, because your person coming in, whether it be a consumer or a business person, you know, it's not necessarily having all the answers. We need a little guidance, and I think that would probably be the part you guys enjoy the most.
Right, exactly. We do enjoy that.
So tell me, when you think about your job, what's the best part of it?
I mean, I enjoy just seeing the completed project. I enjoy the whole entire phase of running through the ideas of the drawings with the client to putting them on plans and then going to the field and watching it be constructed. I enjoy the whole process. Yes.
Well, it's got to be very exciting to be able to walk downtown or walk, you know, in a suburb and see a building that you've had an impact on.
Exactly. Yes. In my 20 years experience, I've definitely touched the skyline in Chicago. It's very exciting to go down there and point those out.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for taking time to stop by and join me and talk to me a little bit about this world of engineering. I think we often take it for granted, but it's a very important part of our daily lives and our business lives to build those buildings right, and you're a perfect partner for it. So thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for having me.
We'll be right back with more Business Connection. Stay tuned. Tell me, what is Great Western Flooring?
Great Western Flooring is a family-owned and operated flooring retailer in the Chicagoland western suburbs. We've been in business for 35 years this year, which is very exciting. We're a second-generation company, and we specialize in great service, great products, and really the art of flooring.
So tell me, for this retail location that we're sitting in right now, who's your ideal customer?
We're eager to help anybody, whether they have a vision that they need, that they have very specific needs for, and we can help them to place product to fulfill those needs, or if someone just has a dream but not really a vision, and we can help them to create that vision. Our strength is really helping people pull together beautiful spaces, and there's so many products right now in the marketplace, and it's really hard to decide, you know, what do I want and why do I want it? You know, what's going to function for my home? We bring our knowledge to each project in a very unique and customized way for any type of customer, whether you're doing a really small laundry room remodel or building a, you know, your dream custom home.
I think that's awesome, because I often think when building your own home or remodeling something like that, you have a vision, but you get overwhelmed when you walk into a carpeting store or a tile store.
It can be an intimidating process, especially because there are a lot of products and people don't shop for flooring frequently, so they're not familiar with the options. The next step is really to sit down and say, you know, let's talk about the basics of the project. I mean, who's using the space? Is it a family? Is it, you know, a master bathroom that needs to be a little bit more, you know, glamorous than kid-friendly? And so we start to break down each space into needs, and then we start to talk about the wants. But we want to get it in the, you know, in the right direction to start out with. And, you know, someone coming in and being intimidated by product it happens on a daily basis, and especially with the you know, Pinterest and House. So everyone goes out and gets wonderful ideas, and they might come to us with a catalog of, look at all these things I really love, and they might have 30 different looks. So we're really good at identifying, well, why do you like this? You know, what do you like about this? And so we can start to take little things that we know that they like and help them to see what their vision is, and kind of coordinate around that. Because what you put into your home is pretty permanent, and we want to make sure, and it's a big investment, we want to make sure that it's the right decision, and it's not, you know, we don't like the hard sale. We just want the right fit, the right product to go into the home, and it can take an afternoon, it can take an hour, or it can take many afternoons, and it really depends also on how large the project is and how many small details go into it. I mean, carpet can be easier to select sometimes than tile, because you know, there's just much more creativity and infinite options with tile. But yeah, you can do it in as little time or as much time as you need. Take all the time in the world.
That's wonderful. I love the fact that you mentioned home, because we are building a space for ourselves, and home is the most important thing in our lives. It's our largest purchase, so it's nice to have someone that values that as well, versus, say, you know, a big box store.
It starts when you walk in the door, and we help with the design vision, but we're not just helping with that component of just making it look pretty. We're making sure that the hardwood goes up to the tile and how that's transitioning and what adhesives are being used. Are they the correct technical systems to install this flooring accurately in the project space? We're designing that whole job from start to finish, and then we're going to take it from the other side and install it. And we have a whole support staff, installers, and people in the field that carry the project through to that end as well. And you know, so it's design to installation, it's everything.
That's awesome. Well, I'm going to go talk to your sister and get a little bit of an idea of what this space looks like, but thanks for spending some time with me.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Liz.
So Dana, we're here at your brand new location for Great Western Flooring. So tell me about the thought process that went behind this.
Yeah, absolutely. We're really excited to be in our new space here at the Washington. We really imagined this space from the ground up, and we wanted to make the entire, you know, design and shopping experience for your new home very intentional and very on brand with what we believe is our key resource, which, you know, is our people and our talent. So as you kind of enter the space, we didn't want to bombard you with any product. You'll notice that it's intentionally left looking like a home. We wanted to invite you into our home, into our kitchen, into our living room, so that you could get inspired by some of the first steps of your project as we started to curate that with you.
So Dana, tell me a little bit about your team here.
Absolutely. So, right when you walk into our new space, you're going to be greeted by any one of our design consultants here at the desk. They're going to start, greeting you with a cup of coffee or tea or water, and you're going to have more of a consultative conversation with them about your project, your budget, your lifestyle, and any of the other parameters that you're trying to achieve, before you dive into some of the actual materials and process of it. So if you're starting to work on a tile project, the first place our designers are going to guide you to is right back into our tile section. And we've purposely put up a wide variety of tile merchandising between grouted panel boards, loose samples, tile sample boards with multiple colors. Whatever might inspire you and speak to you, best, we want to be able to showcase that to you as we start to build your palette. And that's where we really excel with all of this. We're able to use any of our design stations here to kind of curate that process for you.
Well, it's nice to be able to pull it all together on a table and see the colors next to one another, because you never do that if you're going from store to store, or if you just don't even think about it. Yeah, so that's an awesome service.
Exactly, and we'd always encourage that once your design selection's been finished, we would notate everything that we've worked on with diagrams, and we would send you on your way home with samples, so that while this might look like a beautiful, dusty blue here, it doesn't look seafoam green once it gets to your house. We want to make sure that it's applicable here and in your space.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So tell me, you don't just do tile?
We sure don't. We do any surface really that you can walk on or put on your floor without being paint or wallpaper. So when it comes to carpet, we've really entered into this space with carpet that it's more of a fashion textile piece as opposed to something you're going to put in your entire house anymore. Plastic composite planks, your luxury vinyl tile planks, and those are going to be really great solutions for spaces prone to heavy wear and tear or moisture, just like a basement might be. It's not going to be susceptible to that rip out and haul to the curb that your carpet's going to be when we have those heavy rainfalls in the springtime.
Right, but it just gives your basement a little bit more of life and character than that cement floor.
Absolutely, an easy cleanup.
Yes.
Yep.
Dana, thanks for taking me around your new space. It is so impressive.
Thank you.
It's so amazing, and it's not, when I'm walking with you, I don't feel overwhelmed, because I feel like I'm really supported, that I could come in here with a crazy idea, or I could go with this color, and that'd be fine for an accent, but not the whole thing.
We wouldn't let you make a bad decision, and there's no idea that's too crazy for us to help you with.
You haven't seen me yet, but thank you for letting us come in and see it, and then welcome everybody to it.
Thank you. We're excited.
Thank you. Welcome to Business Connection. I'm Liz Spencer. We have a wonderful guest in studio today. It's Pamela Harem-Basic. She's a mortgage advisor, and you're with Pearl Mortgage, so welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So tell me a little bit about your background and you.
I grew up in Crest Hill, just next door, not too far from here from Naperville, and lived there until I went to Illinois State, where I graduated in 2002. And moved right to the city a few months later for my first mortgage job in the city, and I've been in the game ever since.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And then since we relocated out of the city about 18 months ago, I've been fighting myself in these Naperville Mom Network groups, and it's been a really great community to be a part of. On top of it, I also joined the Chamber of Commerce last August.
Great.
It's been really nice networking and bouncing ideas off of people. And then I also do a lot of intramural type sports. I was playing volleyball for years, and then indoor-outdoor, and then I joined the Pearl softball team, and I actually played all season. And sometimes I play co-ed with one of my brothers and Joliet, now that I'm closer. And then finally, my Mortgage Mom blog website, I just launched in July of last year. So it's been a really exciting couple years.
So tell me about that Mortgage Mom. That fascinates me. I think it's a great name.
Thank you. It started more along the lines of I was trying to figure out how to reinvent myself. I'm always wanting to be evolving and staying fresh. There's a lot of loan officers that you could pick to work with, and I was thinking that I needed to start rebranding myself a little bit. I had more to offer than just quoting interest rates, and so it started as something as simple as wanting to be on Instagram for social media, and I wasn't really marketing myself at all. And so 2 years ago, I started texting my cousins that were younger and asking them for clever hashtags to use, and it just morphed into this mortgage mom. And then I started looking for websites with that name, and I went through GoDaddy last summer and just launched the website mortgagemom.biz.
I think it makes you more approachable. I think people are often a little scared when they're going out for a mortgage, and so that's more approachable. Tell me how the industry has changed so much. It's a different game than it used to be. Talk to me a little bit about that.
It is. I mean, the credit industry, when I joined in 2002, was all you needed pretty much was a heartbeat and you could get a mortgage, you know. But after, you know, the bubble burst in 2008, all these bad loans that were sold and closed, you know, never performed, and banks and people lost a lot. They lost their homes, people didn't have jobs, and so credit has changed a lot. And you still have opportunities to get, you know, a mortgage now with different programs. It took a while for, you know,